Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTBase.com. Welcome to this week's Commitments of Traders review. Today we're going to have a look at the 24th COT report of 2013. And as usual, we're going to start off with the changes in commercials positions. So here we go. Rough rice on top with a 42% change in commercials positions, an even greater 53% change in large speculators position. Don't forget, a few weeks back, I believe over here at this large change, I was talking about rough rice being a good market where large changes affect prices. You can see this change over here starting this rally, another change over here before this rally. Again, an opposite change size, the one that we have right now, signaling that basically this top over here. So changes are affecting rough rice pretty nicely. The large speculators have gone up to net long territories, and of course you can see that happening a few times on this 1 year chart. Let's have a look at the 5-year chart and see whether we've got an extreme. We had actually for quite some time, since 2012, basically the fact that commercials were net long was suggesting that there may be a rally, and of course you can see prices were actually going higher and higher. A really nice sell signal from the extreme side of this COT data would be if commercials were at roughly 12 to 13,000 contracts net short. You can see over here these extremes marking the end of rallies. We're not there yet, so of course question is, for the past 1.5 years, you can see that basically commercials and large speculators were bouncing off the zero line. Question is, would this continue, or will commercials go even to greater net short territories? If it happens, I believe the rally may easily go even higher from here. Of course, the sell signal from the change size may affect prices in the near term. Question is, medium to long term, will we see prices going even higher, or would they go back to these roughly 1500 level? Moving on to the dollar index, we have a 41% change in commercials positions, roughly the same change size in large speculators positions. These are large changes. In currencies, we say large changes are above, let's say, 20-25%. You can see prices already reacting to this change, but of course it doesn't mean that the rally is over. It's definitely a large change size, and it may affect prices even on Monday, Tuesday. Opening a 5-year chart, let's have a look at the extreme. We had actually a bearish extreme. You can see that prices reacted to it really nicely. Of course, the question right now is, would this decline continue, or will we see prices actually rallying even further? I believe if they do, we may see the widening of this extreme. Right now, actually being at roughly 20,000 contracts net short, you can see on this 5-year chart, is basically meaning that we are in a neutral extreme. We can't really talk about a large extreme right now. Moving on to Swiss franc, we have a huge change over there, 40% in commercials positions and 64% in large speculators. Basically, commercials went back down to net short territories. You can see prices rallying after this extreme. We had one actually a few weeks back. You can see it over here, and it was suggesting prices will rally. Well, they did. But now we have huge changes, and the extreme has basically went away. We are in a neutral position right now. Of course, now the question may be, would prices go even higher and continuing their rally from where they started after this extreme, or will we reach another basically bearish extreme, and commercials reaching at roughly 25,000 contracts net short? That's the big question. The change size in itself, of course, is signaling a bearish move in prices. Let's move on and have a look at large speculators COT Extreme. Here we go. Crude oil and Australian dollar, both all-time extremes. Crude oil is basically a new market, in the sense that we haven't talked about it for quite some time. We have an all-time COT Extreme, always pretty interesting and exciting. Basically, you can see commercials at 300,000 contracts net long territories. You can see whenever that was the case, that coincided with a top in prices, so it can be considered a bearish signal. We may see prices declining from here. Small speculators are also in a more extreme territory, which is quite interesting because whenever they are net short, that should be considered more of a bullish signal. So it's an interesting situation we have right now over here. But anyhow, the extreme is definitely visible and something will happen with prices. Australian dollar is our next market. We have an all-time extreme over there. We had it actually for a few weeks now. What's interesting in the Australian dollar is that you can see prices have reacted for a few days, and now basically prices are declining pretty dynamically. So the question is, will we see the Australian dollar reacting to this bullish extreme, or are we going to see a so-called commercial capitulation that happened in the Japanese yen a few months ago? Actually, it may have been more than a half a year ago, which would be basically the case when there's a COT extreme, but prices will not react in the normal way and just neglect this signal, and that would mean that prices can actually drop pretty rapidly and pretty low. That's the big question over here. The next market, the Kansas City wheat, we have a 434 report extreme in large speculators, a 435 report extreme in commercials. Let's have a look at this 5-year chart and see these extremes on a wider perspective. The last major extreme in this wheat was roughly over here in 2012, nicely marking the end of this decline. So that's already a very successful signal. And the previous one happened over here in 2010, again marking the end of a decline. So of course, question is, will we see that happening again? The chances are actually that they prices may easily rally from here. That's all for this week. I will not show you any more COT charts, but you can have a look at them at our COT charts page. If you would like to have a more in-depth and detailed COT analysis, then of course check out our COT analysis page, where you can add other really useful functions to our table, the long-term trend, volume and open interest scores, or the COT index, and of course look at new COT report types and data types also. I hope you enjoyed my review this week. I hope to see you next week. I wish you a really nice weekend. Have a great day. Bye-bye.